What's up, guys? Welcome to natemareflix. I am Nate. You are you, and today we have two neat teaser trailers to look at. One for Final Destination Bloodlines and one for M3GAN 2.0. Now, the unfortunate part of all this is that both teaser trailers come to us from Universal. And if you know anything about Universal, you know they like to copyright claim the ever-living crap out of content creators. So I can't show you the full trailer like I normally would, but that's okay. I'm going to show you the very best parts, the parts that stuck out to me. We'll do a little voiceover, and I will give you my feedback on both of these and let you know where my excitement level sits for both films. Of course, I invite you to go down in the comments section and let me know what you think about how these things look. Are you excited for them? Are you going to be there opening night to check these out? Or do you think they look like straight up crap? Let me know down below. But let's get started with one that has a throwback to my childhood, Final Destination Bloodline. The trailer starts off extremely uncomfortable. You're up close and personal for this instrument being driven through her tongue for her piercing. The best Final Destination sequences seem to prime you with uncomfortable imagery that gets you squirming before any of the rad Rube Goldberg machine antics can even get underway. And they're doing that here to great effect. I love these close-ups. The way that thing gets driven through her tongue, it's gnarly. It had my toes squirming in my shoes. That had me wanting to avert my eyes, but also going, holy shit, is she going to die in the chair? And if so, how freaking gruesome is it about to get? But as we'll see in this teaser trailer, this isn't really her death. She may die later in this movie for all we know, but no. This teaser trailer is going to focus on the guy who did the tongue piercing, and the look of this guy, the way he's just resentful of everything in this world around him. It's giving me real McKinley from Final Destination 3 vibes, kind of a nice callback. Now, you may think the chains are a bit over the top hanging there by the ceiling fan, but as we learned from School of Rock, you ain't hardcore unless you live hardcore. And look, this McKinley light that I talked about, I really appreciate the dark comedy that is being derived from kind of how over the top and trite he is. We get a glimpse of his little sad boy mix on Spotify. He's given himself a tattoo, which by the way looks gnarly and intense, and again gets you primed up for what's ultimately going to happen in this sequence. But also the fact that he's given himself a dad tattoo. Everything is just so on the nose that I feel like we're overwatching his final moments and kind of sneering and giggling, just like this little Misfits looking bobblehead that's just bouncing about and smiling, which feels like also a nice stand-in for death. And all these Final Destination movies, death itself is a character, and they always find a way to find inanimate objects or camera angles that kind of make you see how death is overlooking everything that is about to unfold and what it's going to set into motion for this guy. And what it's going to set into motion for this guy is insane. Holy shnikes, that thing just hooked onto his septum piercing. But I feel for him because I am the king of this kind of unlikely gaffe. It is not uncommon for me to be cooking, to turn too quick, and somehow, in the most unlikely fashion, my basketball short pockets will snag a hold of the handle in the drawer, and I'll just rip the drawer out and send silverware, knives included, flying through the kitchen. So just like this fool, I would not fare well in a Final Destination flick. It looked like he was going to get his nose ripped off, and they really kind of played with that, and they let it linger, and they let it linger, and they got you all tensed up and ready for that. And no, they come out of nowhere, subvert your expectation. He gets emulated. He goes up in an inferno. And that's what happens. They really seem to understand with this new Final Destination movie, how you have to set up these sequences and how it all has to be choreographed. You always introduce several different little threats going on in the scene, things that could cause the ultimate kill shot. And then you as a viewer are just sitting back going, okay, I need to look for that. It's going to be this thing. Oh, that thing's going to fly over here and hit that. And that's why he's going to die. Not going to get me. I'm ready. And then boom, out of left field, it's something else. And this guy goes up in an inferno and ends up getting cooked extra crispy. And you just didn't think it was going to go that way when you first started seeing that ceiling fan swinging around, and you didn't even think it was going to go that way once it hooked onto his nose. So this tells me that we might be in really good hands with Final Destination Bloodlines. They seem to understand the aesthetic of things with this main character, with this kind of over-the-top personality, the oh, woe is me, I hate the world of it all, but also the Rube Goldberg machine-like sequences that unfold, the gnarly death, and the fact that you will never know what's happening, but your eyes are going to be glued to the screen because you have to see how the dominoes are going to fall. I think we're in good hands here. And I actually went and looked up who is behind this thing. And it is written by Guy Busick, who has made a lot of great horror movies. He really likes to collaborate with Radio Silence. And when you think Radio Silence, you just think high octane, fun, thrill ride horror. And so I really think we're going to get a good Final Destination And the teaser ends on this funny little tongue-in-cheek note about death runs in the family. It doesn't death run in the family for us all, unfortunately, but also tells us that we probably have ties to the original Final Destination Flix, and that maybe someone in here, maybe our pro tag is related to Devon Sawa's character or somebody else. Maybe we'll have a few holdovers, and it'll be just really cool to see how they all get chopped up, incinerated, blown up, cut. Just, you never know what's going to happen, but it's going to be really freaking cool. And you're going to be on pins and needles, just like you were when you saw that little thing get driven through the girl's tongue in the beginning. But now let's go ahead and segue into our other teaser trailer. Let's talk about M3GAN 2.0. Now, there's not a ton going on with this teaser. It's mostly just M3GAN dancing around, her silhouette, a bright poppy pink background, some pop music playing, and then she steps forward out of the shadows to reveal this kind of pretty awful downgrade of a CGI face.
Miss me?
Now, I'm going to be optimistic and hope that the face will look better in the movie. And when we see her in shadows, it is obviously all being done practically. It is a human actor doing physical choreography and stunts, just like they did with the first movie. So I have to think bigger budget this time around. They seem to understand their audience. They understand the people that loved the first film, a film that made like, I don't even know, 10 times its budget, 15 times its budget back. And so they're going to give us an over-the-top type of thing to where they lean into the dancing and the shtick of the first movie. But the thing that gets me most hopeful, as someone who didn't really love the first M3GAN, they haven't given us a ton about this, like with this teaser, for example, but they have teased this little blurb of a plot so far. They're going to be doing like the Terminator 2 treatment for M3GAN. So the idea of having our traumatized good guys seeing the M3GAN doll, only to find out that she is now their champion and she's going to fight for them and protect them. I love that idea. I love the idea of Blumhouse having a bigger budget for this one. Not that Blumhouse can be trusted to actually use it, but should they use it and go this Terminator route to where M3GAN is like our Arnold Schwarzenegger T-800 battling up against a new version of the M3GAN doll, kind of like a T-1000, I think we could really go places. I think we could have all sorts of really cool fight scenes that involve dance maneuvers. I just think there's a lot of potential here if they do it right. Now, recent Blumhouse has a spotty track record, to say the least, but I just really want to hope that Atomic Monster here producing this thing, maybe James Wan throws in some ideas and we get a really kick-ass cool sequel that ups the ante in every single regard. That first M3GAN movie had some nice moments, but unfortunately a lot of those nice moments were in the trailer. So far we're not seeing a lot, just a little bit of dancing, and hopefully they're saying, you know what, you hear this pop song, you see these captions, these title cards that say, "This bitch, we know what you want. We're going to ham it up. We're going to get goofy. We're going to have fun. We're going to dance our asses off, and we're going to get violent." And yes, it's still going to be PG-13 because that's who this audience is. That's who made us our money the first go around. We're still going to do right by them, but there's going to be so much more of what you loved in that first M3GAN in this movie. And yes, hopefully this is what they say. Yes, we are going to continue to work on the CGI and the digital effects so that M3GAN looks the way she needs to when this movie hits theaters this summer. So those are my takes on these two films. I'm much more excited for Final Destination Bloodlines because I'm just a bigger fan of that franchise and because I didn't feel like the first M3GAN movie was necessarily for me. But I still have a lot of reasons to be optimistic for both of these projects, and I'm actually more excited about this M3GAN movie now that I know what they want to do with the plot than what I was, say, even like a few weeks ago. How are you thinking about these movies? How are you feeling about them? Which one are you more excited for? Let me know down in the comments section. And if you've made it this far in the video, please hit like and subscribe. That means that, we're kind of vibing, we're hitting it off, we're having a good time, and that way we'll continue to do so in the future when we talk horror here on Natemare Flix. Other than that, though, hope you have yourself a great day. I'm Nate for Natemare Flix saying that's a wrap.